Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to share with you a card that I've made, and also I've made a couple of these and I really like them. I was inspired by a lady, I can't remember what her name is, but I'll leave a link to her channel in my description box. But it's like a hidden lock card or something, I can't remember the name of it. But you make this mechanism, which is ever so simple, and then you make this sort of card, and I'll leave all the measurements will be in the description box, and there's also at the end of the video some photographs with the measurements on as well. So yeah, I've made a few and I really quite like them. So this bit, hope you can see, pulls up, and you've basically got just some sort of panels there, decorative, and a focal image, and you've got a gatefold card underneath that you can put your message in, whatever you want to do. So I will show you, it's ever so simple. I'll show you how to do it if you're interested, with all the measurements. And she says, very simple to make, not so easy to put together. It's absolutely fine, it's just that I can't see. There we go. Let's see what I'm up to. And obviously if you wanted to change the measurements and have this panel not as big, you could have a small panel, whatever you want. You could easily do that. So there's the finished card. It does just about stand up, this one, but I think the one I made previously didn't. But if you want a flat-ish sort of card, which is a little bit different, stay tuned and I'll show you how I made it. Okay, so before we start, I'll just mention that I will leave all the measurements in the description box, and also at the end of the video I will leave some sort of still photographs with the measurements on as well, if that helps. So you will need some fairly sort of strong card, not strong card. This is 300 GSM. You can choose whatever background, you could do it in black, white, craft paper, whatever you like. This is 6 inches tall and 8 inches across, and it's scored at the 2 and the 6 inch mark to form a gatefold. Now after I've done that, I have just put that in my trimmer and taken, and now I'm not going to say, I can't give you a measurement, it's not, definitely don't do an eighth of an inch, that would be way too much. It's just a tiny slither off so that you have a small gap down the middle of the card, otherwise this won't work. Okay, so just a slither off either side after you've folded it, so you've got this little gap. And then you're going to need 4 of this size, and this is 3 by 5 1/4. Now if you didn't want this to be quite as big, if you wanted to be smaller, obviously you could adjust that however you like, but I'm doing mine 5 1/4 by 3 inches, and you need 4 of these. Okay, so there's one for the top, one for the bottom, and then these 2 we used for the sort of sliding mechanism. And they're exactly the same, still 3 inches by 5 1/4, except you score them at 1 1/2, effectively cutting them in half, not cutting them, scoring them in half, so that you've got this. So let me just find my bone folder and give this one a burnish. And this will become our mechanism. This card is so easy. Once you've got all your bits ready to go, it is very simple. So you've got these 2 pieces here, these 2 pieces, one on the front, one on the back, like that, and then that will slide up and down your card. While we're doing it, I will tell you about the mats and things you need. So I think you need one of these on the back. It's up to you how you decorate it. You might want to write on the back and decorate the inside, but I'm going to put this on the back. This mat here is 5 3/4 in length and 3 3/4 in width. And then on these here, you'll want 2 panels like that and like that, roughly. This one, they're both 5 3/4 in length still. This one is 1 3/4, and so is this one. Okay, so basically it is, I don't know if is it exactly the same. It's not quite the same as this, because you've obviously got to take into account that you've split it down the middle, and that's just leaving us like an 1/8 of an inch around there. And then to fit these panels here, you want 2 mats. That isn't the right size. I don't know what I've done there. I haven't cut it the right length, but they need to be 2 3/4 in width and 5 inches in length. Let me just check that. I don't think I cut those, so I will do that in just a tick. Yeah, that's way too much. That's 5 and something. So I'll come back with that. I'm also going to ink around the edges with some dried marigold. Right, I've inked around the edges. I did cut these to size now, so they just fit with a 1/8 of an inch gap around. And I think what I'm going to do is glue all the bits together first. So I'm going to put this bit on the back to begin with. But you could decorate the inside of your card as well if you wanted to. I haven't done. I would probably write my message on the inside, but you know, that's up to you. So this is going on here. Just try and leave about 1/8 of an inch all the way around, and then, well, it doesn't really matter if your things were directional or they had to go a certain way around. You could turn your card around and put them on that way, so that you don't you don't make a mistake. Mine don't have a direction, so it doesn't matter. Putting this on here. And what was I going to say? I was just going to make sure that it's stuck at the corners. You'll see why. When you start putting the insert in and out, you don't want it to be catching on anything, so, or ripping your card. So just make sure you're glued right to the corner. Something like that. Okay. Next up, we might as well do these. So let's take our panels and put these on. Something like that. You could use tape as well. You don't have to use glue, whatever works with you. I prefer glue myself because I like that bit of wriggle room in case it doesn't go on straight, and you know, I can get in a mess with tape that doesn't stick. Well, it sticks well, but not quite in the right place. That can go on there. And again, it's up to you whether or not you want to decorate both sides of this or not. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so that's going to, one of those is going to go at the bottom, one's going to go on the top, and these 2 things here that we made, which were folded, you want to put the folds in the centre like that, both the folded ends, and both the folded ends in the centre and the open ends on the outside, and they should fit perfectly in your card. I'll just glue one for now and line it up like that. You shouldn't see anything, should fit. Same with the other one. Remember, folded, 2 folded ends in the middle and the open ends at the outside. Just butt them up against one another. Double check you can't see anything around the outside, which can't there. And then you can either glue this one or glue this one. It doesn't really matter because they're both the same size. and that goes over the top. Squash it down a bit, and again you shouldn't see anything because it's all perfectly the right size. Just make sure that you've got it all aligned. That will do, and that's essentially the card done. Goes like this, and you can see you might want to make sure your glue has dried before you do this, but why is mine glued shut there? Because my glue is leaked. Yeah, wait for your glue to dry, but you can see the mechanism there, hopefully, and that will just slide like this. Like that, down the centre of your card, like that. And I'm going to just make something like a focal point to go on there. So I'm going to take that off, particularly while it's drying, just in case I mess it up. Now, what I did with mine, which I haven't done, which I could do quickly if I was really quick, is to put either a tab. You could have like a piece of folded paper, maybe like that. You could poke in there, or a piece of ribbon is what I used, and I actually stuck it in there before the glue dried, like that, so that it's obvious that you're pulling that out. And in fact, I think I'm just going to leave that like that, but a bit of ribbon would do in there, anything. Or you could leave it without, just as long as people know that that's what you've got to do with it. Okay, so I'm going to leave that like that. For my front panel, I've got a piece of the card, which is I think 2 inches by 2 inches, and then this is about 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. So I'm going to stick that on there, but you can obviously choose your own focal image. To be honest, what I'd got on my desk was one of my flowers that I was going to use for something else and then didn't use it, and it sat on my desk. And when I chose the colour of this paper, I chose it deliberately because I wanted to use that flower up. So that can go on there. This could go on there. Now you could put leaves on it, you could put extra things. I think I'm just going to glue that on in the centre there somewhere. And then I'm going to use some string. Now, this is just like twine. And what I'm going to do is twizzle it here and split it. And there should be 3 strands, 1, 2, 3, and then, and I'll probably do this off camera because even though I'm conscious of what it does, because it does sort of twizzle around, it is quite easy to unravel, but every now and again it gets stuck. But you get the idea. Just untwist it, and then if I do it fast, which is what I'm trying to do, it messes up, and I don't want to do that. Okay, you could use it as it is, but I think it'd be a bit bulky, and this way you still get the twine without it being too bulky on the front of a card. Right, let me separate this. I'm just going to undo it like this, turn it round, and get all 3 bits separate. Right, that didn't take very long to do at all. If you hold the 2 that are joined together and the one that is separate, you're starting to separate, and you just roll this the other way, you'll get one off and the 2 together, and then once you've got the 2 together, they just more or less fall apart. Right, so on the back of here, I'm going to put some tape. You could use glue, you could use, I don't know, anything that will hold the, I just want to hold the yarn in place until I'm ready to stick this down. So I'll just stick that down there like that, that will do. And then we'll pull those off. Maybe 1, 2, 3. Put those in the bin. And then I will use, you might not want to use all of this, you might only want to use some of it. I'm going to have a little bit sticking out so we can see that, and then I'm just going to curl it around. I'll try not to get it stuck to myself, but I'm just going to sort of curl it round like that. I mean, you can turn it over and have a look at it if you want to, see what it looks like. Like that maybe, and then another one. See what I mean though? It might look really bulky if you had, if you used the string as it is, and then it would be hard to stick down as well. But I'm just trying to look like we've got some messy string underneath the, can leave that one like that. Do we want another one? Might just put the next one on. I'm going to glue it down so it doesn't really matter. I'm just giving it a little bit more substance in some places. Another like that. Does that want to stick down? Something like that. And I'm probably going to stick that on the front of my card. I'll tell you what I will do, just to make sure it sticks better. I think I will stick that onto there first. Then it will give me something to glue against. Put that on top so you can't see it. You could have used the tape again, and really ideally you should wait for that to dry before you do what I'm doing, but I'm just trying to show you quickly. Pop that. Which way up do I want it? Like that. I think like that is what I want. Something like that. Pop that on. Wait for it to dry. And then here is our little card. So you've got the back decorative. You could put whatever sort of paper you want. There's the front. Here's your kind of locking mechanism. And just slide it through there like that. And there's your sort of hidden locking card. Just about stands up. It doesn't. The other one didn't that I've made, but this one just about stands up. Anyway, just thought I'd share with you how to make that. I will leave the instructions in photograph form after this video, and you can always look in the description box for the measurements as well. Anyway, thanks for watching. Stay safe and well. I'll be back again soon. Bye for now.